Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Greg Sterlace Show. Without Greg Sterlace, whatever, something about a substitute. Anyway.
Except only the substitutes. I'm your host, the Pepsi. John's jumping in and trying to steal my thunder.
Well,
there you go, John.
And
go.
we've got a very special guest today. May's always a special guest, but we got an extra special guest besides Elliot here. We've got
There she is,
the
May.
wonderful, great. You know him, you love him from the Bible Christian. What do you call it?
Junior Christian Science Bible Lesson Show.
You also know him from Good Times. You know him from the Tim and Eric Show. You've seen his music.
And because I haven't been paid right, I have to do small shows like this because so many people have ripped me off. And I want to talk about, I don't think it's fair, that my favorite clown, Monty Melvin, that was Jewish, faced discrimination from WGM in Chicago. They tore up all his pictures. They only mention him twice on the internet as being a floor director. He produced the Bozo Show. He replaced Bozo when Bozo got sick for 8 years. He told riddles and jokes to the kids. He made me laugh and he made me cry. Monty Melvin, Richard Lubitz was his real name. And I think it's terrible that they excommunicated him from WGM. I'll tell you what happened. They were doing the Pepsi challenge of clowns, and between Cookie the Clown, that spoke like Big Bird and Red Skelton, and Monty Melvin, who was very intelligent. He was a Jewish bagel of joy and fun. And he was funny. But all the kids originally liked Monty Melvin. But this jealous jelly came in. Well, I'm Cookie the Clown. I want to be the only cheese that the mouse eat. I'm Cookie the Clown. And when I got divorced and I became more famous than Bozo, I told girls to take a bite not out of crime, but out of me. Because I'm a big chocolate chip cookie, Cookie the Clown.
Damn. Cookie the Clown gets kind of crazy. You got divorced?
Cookie the Clown lived. He was born in Arizona. Cookie the Clown died in 2001. I was more popular than Bozo.
Damn.
Girls eat my cookies. I'm better than Girl Scout cookies. I'm Cookie the Clown.
Hot damn, David. I didn't know he was that popular.
Was this like on The Simpsons? They had the clown, right? Was
No, this was better than The Simpsons.
But was like a reference,
Cookie the
though.
Clown.
Yeah, I think
I was on the Bozo
I'm
Show.
not sure what to
30 years. Look me up on WGM TV. I was so fat. I was fatter than your big baseball. They used to call me Fatsy because I was so fat. Cookie the Clown.
Damn, David.
They did a Pepsi challenge between me and Monty Melvin.
Right.
And I told the kids, if you only vote for Cookie,
obviously.
you only vote for Cookie, I'll give you all the candy you want.
Right.
For 3 years. So everybody voted for me, Cookie.
Right.
Cookie, not Monty Melvin. And I became the cheese of the kids.
Nice.
And they were my mouses. I outshined Bozo. So I did a grand prize game. Cookie. When the Cookie Monster wanted to get a bite out of me.
Damn.
Not his Cookie wife.
Whoa.
Cookie the Clown, don't forget me. I was on WGM from 1970. I replaced Sandy the Clown on the Bozo Show. And I got Monty Melvin fired. I got Wizzo to put a spell on the crowd to vote for me. Cookie the Clown.
So,
Girls eat your heart out, but you take a bite out of me. I'm sweet.
Okay. So the Howdy Doody Show had a clown.
That was Buffalo Bob.
And he was from
a
Buffalo.
Southern. No, you can't get us. You can't say we're all clowns alike. Like you can't say all colored
Buffalo
people
Bob
are
Cody
alike.
was from Buffalo.
Well,
Really?
you know,
Are you saying you can't say all Buffalonians are clowns?
well, my ex-girlfriend, Gail Fetzer, was a clown. Man, she dumped me for another clown that was married 10 times and had 10 kids.
Well, that's too bad. But
Well, I guess there's a way to spread it out.
say,
Yep.
David, can you tell us? Can you give us some of your clean jokes you were telling us about?
This is Yale Hamburger. You want it dirty or you want it clean?
Let's keep it clean for the kids.
What?
Yeah.
What? What do you call your clothes when they have a dark sun tide? Darker than me. That's
I'm
clothes when they're
not-
dirty as shit.
I'm not-
Shit. I mean shit, not shit.
Don't say shit to the kids. What the?
Damn, David.
I
I'm
said
not
it
sure
clean
I
at the
even
end.
understood the
That's
joke,
a
but
real hamburger. You girls ought to take a bite out of mine. You'll never go back to McDonald's.
oh,
Oh, damn, David.
Are these for kids? I don't know.
Hey, David, what's that song you have about getting your wiener stuck in your zipper?
I got my pecker caught in my zipper. I got my pecker caught in my zipper. Yeah, I will get no dessert from my wife. It's worse than being bit by Tiny Rex. I'll never get to have any sex. I got my pecker caught in my zipper. Oh, it hurts. I got my pecker caught in my zipper. Ah, I'm bleeding. It's worse than ketchup. I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta put some potatoes on it. I got my pecker caught in my zipper.
isn't that like an old
No,
Romanian thing?
Potatoes
it's
on it?
not.
Yeah,
It's
I've
a,
never
it's
heard
an
of this.
original.
Can you give us a couple bars of no sex since '94?
No, the potatoes on
No,
a
the potatoes
wound.
on a wound thing is.
Oh,
is
yeah,
Where'd
like
that
a-
come
heard of that.
from?
I don't know. It's something that I made up, but maybe I was maybe I was from that race in the past life. I
Maybe.
believe in reincarnation.
Well, because that's the thing my grandma did about with warts.
Wow,
potatoes.
maybe her and
They
I were
had to rub
married in a
potatoes
past
on
life.
it, and,
Oh,
then,
maybe.
and then bury it underground during a full moon.
Well, yeah,
To get rid of
wow.
warts.
That's
If I
like
had any warts, it has to get busy right now because
Yes.
it's full moon
okay. You
right
want
now.
me to do? I haven't had sex. I haven't had sex since 1994. I hope someday I will score. My wife left me for Roberto. I gotta get it over. I haven't had sex since 1994. I tried Tinder all the more. And the girls would show their boyfriends the scores. I haven't had sex since then. Gotta find a single girlfriend. I haven't had sex since 1994.
Yeah.
Haven't had sex since 1994. Someday I'll score. Words and music by David Liebe Hart.
Now, where can we find your music?
On Spotify, Google Play, CD Baby, iTunes. I also do religious music. The Christian Science Church I was born and raised, right? They gone my hymns out of their new supplement. They choose all these jolly old English hymns by this woman, Fenella Burnett. She says, I'm going to be the only one writing music. Me and Peter Allen and Desiree.
Her name's Fenella?
Fenella Burnett from jolly old England.
Oh,
She
okay.
was a British witch.
Oh, no.
She said, I am going to make it so no colored music, Hispanic music, or Asian songs get into him. I want it pure white like a white lily. This is Fenella Burnett. And you can get a Christian Science supplement. She made it pure lily white. Whiter than snow.
Well, that's not good.
And I'm going to tell you something. There
First
was a
word
clown
is
on the
gonna like
Bozo
this
show.
episode very much.
His name was Ali Oliver, and he tried to imitate black people. He was better than Amos and Andy. I'm Ali Oliver. I'm Ray Rayner. You know, I don't got a speck of nigga blood in me, but I'm whiter than snow. I'm Ali Oliver on the Bozo show. I'm trying to be black, but I'm really white.
David, what the hell are
Ali
you talking about?
Oliver, I'm Ray Rayner. I'm from WGM,
David,
Chicago,
that's
Illinois.
reel
He's
it
talking
in.
about someone performing in blackface.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's bad.
Well,
You
they
guys
did it
missed
on the
the beginning
Bozo
part.
show.
Oh, right.
Ollie Oliver imitated black people, and and then I called him up and says, "Why don't you have me be a real black clown on your show?" He says, I was born in 1990. Ray Reno was born in 1990.
1990.
And
I
I'm
think you
an
mean, like,
old
1900.
racist motherfucker. And I don't like you colored people. And that's what Ray Rayner told me from WGM. And then he hung up in my face. Don't you ever call WGM again. I'm a meanie weenie. I don't like you.
This is cable access. Just gotta. Not that we can't have the swear words. Just gotta skimp on them a little bit.
Well, you can edit it out. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
So, wait, I have a question here. You just told me that I would be an Omegan because I have red hair and I'm part Irish.
Well,
but when I was a kid, wait, I got to tell you this, though. We were outside and we did see this. We saw 4 lights in the sky going around a big light, and they were just like hovering. They were hovering in the sky.
They're real. UFOs
and then
are
all
real.
of a sudden, all the lights went into the big light, and then
They went to the mothership.
it took off.
They went
And
into the
then the
mothership.
sky was filled with regular airplanes after that. It was
Well,
very
the planes were after them because they didn't want them.
Didn't happen.
The planes, the military didn't want those UFOs to be seen. I had a similar experience. Where I perform and do busting at the Music Center 3 years ago. It was around January. It looked like a huge blimp, but it wasn't. And the helicopters flew around it. You cannot fly here. This is the United States. We will blow your gadget up. You are an alien and you don't belong in the Los Angeles skies. Flew all around it like ants around food. And this UFO just stayed like a big man, and a whole bunch of little kids were trying to beat it up. And it just stays there in the sky, and nothing would move it. And then finally it zoomed up in the air. And a second, they call them fast walkers. The military calls them fast walkers.
Well, you've got an
See, that's
extraterrestrial
interesting.
woman, though, right?
Because
You don't understand.
Similar thing?
I had an experience driving home from college when I was taking one of your classes, and all the lights went wacky in my car, and it like sputtered and
The
then it shut
aliens
down.
do that all
but
the
that's
time.
because it was a 1986 Volvo, and they had experimented with biodegradable
Now,
wiring
He
insulation.
tries to be.
It shorted out, and my wiring caught on fire.
Oh, no.
He tries to be
Woo-hoo.
what do you call the people that can tell the future?
Prophet?
A prognosticator.
No.
Psychic.
Psychic. You try to be a psychic. You don't know what I'm
A
going to say.
prognostic.
I don't.
That's
So
Nomicus.
don't give me a chance to say.
All right, David.
You said I was from New York. I'm from Chicago.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
You said that I dated an alien woman. I never dated an alien
What about
woman.
Markama?
Markama, you don't listen to the story.
I'm sorry.
You got to stop being a psychic. You don't know it all, but you'll learn it all. Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
I was selling my portraits at La Brea Tar Pits, and this woman came up toward me and told me she was from outer space.
Oh, okay.
And I thought she was a nut. I thought she was drunk, and I didn't believe what she said. And she told me she was from Star Corridor, which is 411 light years away from Earth. So I have a lot of friends that used to work for NASA. Eric Doyle in my Christian Science church used to work for NASA.
Okay.
And so I asked him, does such a race existed?
Yeah.
And at the time, Colonel Wendell Stevenson, who was a famous UFO person, and he said they do, and they did.
Oh, nice.
And she told me she was from Star Corridor, and Emerald Green, and Elder Master Latad, who's a Corindian, and Bob Renown, who's been working with the aliens in Massachusetts and northern Massachusetts for since 1961, 40 years. He is in contact with the Corindians.
Oh, nice.
But we'd have no hope against them all. They'd have to be very advanced, right?
They're very advanced, but they don't want to you don't understand.
Please tell me the Omegans are the most advanced. Because that's what I'm part of, and I want them to be the best.
They don't come to everybody. Just like mushrooms need to grow onto wood, you've got to be a part of their frequency. Just like water lilies grow in water, You've got to be a part of that frequency. If you're not part of the frequency, they're not going to come and see you.
Well, I want to see
Yeah,
him.
but you can't see them if you have a doubt in your mind.
I don't. I
You
have
doubt, or is it
you're
having-
doubting Thomas.
Wait,
If
is
you-
it doubt though, or is it having like a certain
No,
ability
well,
to
you've
see
got
them?
if you see that there's a speck of fear in you, they see a speck of doubt in you, they'll go away from you.
Well, I don't-
we'll chase away aliens and UFOs and ghosts and Bigfoot is your fear of them and your doubt of them.
Well, Bigfoot's just silly, David. Come on.
Bigfoot is for real.
I mean,
Rick-
if I was going to believe in any of that,
Let
I'd
me-
probably go with Bigfoot because
Let-
the idea that some
let
sort of
me tell you
hominid
what
survived us
happened
and was
to
like,
me.
stay far away from them.
Get away from them. They're
Let me
dangerous.
tell you
Yeah.
what happened to me.
Makes more sense.
I used to go fishing with my dad in the Douglas River, which is in Michigan, and I saw Bigfoot. He looked like a wolf man,
Whoa.
and he was scary as hell. He made a really weird yell.
Did he talk?
They don't talk like us.
Well, I didn't know.
There you go, trying to be a psychic. You know it all, and learn it all. You gotta
Cut it out, John.
cool it, man. It made out a weird scream and a yell. He pulled the boat under the water. My dad had to swim and get me. He lost all his fishing tools,
Oh my God.
and it was scary as hell.
Yeah, Bigfoot pulled your boat under the water.
He is scary as hell. Bigfoots are everywhere. They're
See,
for
like
real.
I think the one most probable is aliens because they can totally, they'd be so advanced we'd be like little
But
ants to them or
they
something.
are, but they only, like I say, just
This
like,
is why I say you have to
just
watch
like
Interstellar. I
mushrooms.
mean, not Interstellar. Ugh.
just like mushrooms. Oh, go ahead.
The Expanse.
I've watched The Expanse.
You gotta watch all of it.
But
I didn't get
but
to the
just
very
like
end.
mushrooms grow on the side of a
I
tree,
was doing it while I
because
was
that's a part of their frequencies. And water lilies grow in the mud of a lake. That's their frequencies. UFOs only come to their frequencies. You got to be at their frequencies.
Well, what do the
If you're
UFOs
if you're
So,
not, if you're
so
not at their
is wheat
frequencies-
and corn and
if you-
other vegetables at UFO frequencies because of all the
Well,
crop
they
circles
brought
and
a
stuff?
lot of food here. A lot of stuff has come from the shooting stars, from other planets. The shooting
Which
stars.
food though? Because I want to know if I like alien food.
Corn,
Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
squash,
Depending on how you prepare it. I don't like it raw.
Squash is
cucumbers,
decent.
A lot of
I
New
love
World
cucumbers.
tomatoes.
food. Nice.
No,
Well,
not
this
those.
came the Mayas were given this from Quetzalcoatl.
Mm-hmm.
The
I find it weird that you don't
the
like
Philippines,
tomatoes, but you like cucumbers.
Beth Karaki brought a lot of vegetables and fruit to the Philippines. It was an restaurant called Beth Karaki, and he came from the stars.
Interesting. Well, how many races are there?
There are many. There's the Palladians, which the Swedish and Norwegians are the offshoot from, and you say you're part Irish, so you come from the Omegans. They come from Star
Are they the
Caladan.
strongest ones?
They're the strongest ones.
Yes, I knew it.
They and they're very romantic. Many of them are bisexuals,
Oh.
and many of the Omegans. The Omegans brought pork. They bought pigs. They bought swine here. They bought cows here from Star Caladan, and they have a strong military. They're very military-ish.
Interesting.
And they speak Celtic like Irish, and they brought the panpipes that the Irish and Scottish use.
Oh.
They're very talented, advanced people.
Interesting.
And then
Cool.
now you said you were Armenian, right?
Yes.
You know,
Romanian?
Romanian.
No, I mean.
Armenian.
Armenian.
I was like, wait.
Well, the Corinthians, the Armenians are a spin-off of the Corinthians.
Oh my God! Really? I'm a Corinthian?
Yes.
Holy crap!
What about Mediterraneans?
They're also from that Mediterranean
Interesting.
circle, the Turkish and everything.
Oh.
But unfortunately, our government destroyed their museums that had all their stuff. If you get the tape Chariot of Gods, you can see the different gods that they worshipped and the statues they made of them before our government destroyed their museum.
Yes.
You got to get the album Chariot of Gods by Magnottaman.
So May is German and
German, and Mediterranean, and Black German, which is
I am-
Mediterraneans.
I
who
am
went,
part German
we should
too,
move to Germany.
because the Germans helped free the blacks through the Underground Railroad.
But
I'm
what
part
aliens-
German.
what
I
aliens
don't know
would maybe-
anything about I know the Germans are an offshoot of the American Indians. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
And
makes no sense.
they're a mixture of French and East Indian, because of the tribe came from East India and settled in the European. And at one time, France and Germany were one country, and they were a mixture of your Swedish and French, which made the beautiful painting of someone German. I'm part German too. The Germans freed my ancestors to the Underground Railroad that were Quakers, Lutherans, and Mennonites, and a lot of old families that are from back east, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. The Germans faced so much racism from the jolly old English people that they had to form Germantown, Tennessee, Germantown, Pennsylvania, Germantown, Ohio, and even Germantown, Texas. I have a German on my mom's side. My mom's side's from the South, and that's Rexinger, Kaiser, Harmon, and I have Irish on that side, McGee, Shockley, and a little bit of English, which is Ford and Boone. And I have my dad's side is got some Austrian, Ziegenfelder and Schultz, and Swedish. When it's Larison and Anderson has an S-E-N, it's Swedish, not English.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you earlier said you never were involved with an alien, but how can you tell if you are? What gives them away?
I'm gonna tell you, the aliens have abducted a lot of people and did hybrids with them. President Eisenhower, when that UFO crashed in Roswell, it was not a weather balloon; it was a real UFO, and the government did a cover-up saying it was a weather balloon when it was a really a UFO. And the people could not. The metal was so, like it would squeeze in your hand and then come out like a piece of rubber. And the aliens are new wave because they use Quetzals. Correction.
So
I made a mistake. They don't use Quetzals. They use crystals. Crystals.
Yes.
Crystals.
Yes.
So they're new wave, like David
New wave,
Byrne.
They use Quetzals.
Like David Byrne is an alien, obviously, right?
I would
Now I'm
put
saying the
money
wrong
on
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Crystals. They use crystals in their spaceship. Crystals, and they travel through the spaceships using their minds mostly.
Interesting.
And through just like the metaphysical people do.
Down here, we have to
East
work
India.
with lasers that we can hope can punch a hole through space-time.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Well,
that's an
we
actual
also
thing,
use
though.
anti-gravity
Yeah,
too. The government uses anti-gravity, and they got that from the aliens. The B-2 bomber was built through UFO technology.
Nice. So your song New Technology, is that what that's about?
Yes, it is. My cousin Phyllis McKinnon worked at Wright-Patterson's Air Force Base. She was on my Caucasian side. That was related to President Grant, and that was outside of the family were from Connersville, Indiana, and that side of the family were Presbyterian and Lutheran, and they, for some strange reason, Irish and the German marry a lot, and they marry a lot in Scottish, either Catholic or Lutheran, or Presbyterian and Lutheran. It's a very common combination that happened in my family a lot.
Interesting.
Now my family's all Christian Science, so.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know anything about Christian Science.
Well, Christian
What's
Science
the
is
difference?
Christian Science
I don't
is
know anything
not.
about most religions,
Mary
so.
Baker Eddy formed a Christian Science in 1866. She was healed
Oh,
when
it's
she
older than I thought.
She was healed when she slipped on the ice. Now, people get Christian Science mixed up with Scientology. Christian Science isn't Scientology. They're just different as a dog and a cat. Mary Baker Eddy formed a Christian Science and started her church in New England, and New Hampshire and in Boston, Massachusetts. She also didn't agree with a lot of ideas that Quimby had, and she advanced higher than Quimby and made her own church. And she had a lot of her teaching, you'd be healing. She taught positive thinking and being healed through prayer, prayerful thinking, and there's a Buddhist taste in Christian Science. The one mind, the divine mind, consciousness. You see those same consciousness and the chakra that the Buddhists use. That's similar to but Mary Baker Eddy's.
Oh, interesting.
Now, Scientology, I don't speak shit about religions because I don't want them coming after me. But Scientology was formed by L. Ron Hubbard, and they're into data, into mind control. They don't believe in God.
Oh, jeez.
And they work with a book called The Dianetics.
Ah, yes.
And they're different than Christian Science.
You know, we have a quote-unquote Church of Scientology on Main Street here in Buffalo.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk shit about anybody. I want to love everybody. To each his own. If that's
Do you
it.
love Dudley here? He's a nice young man.
Yeah.
You keep on discriminating against me as Dudley. I'm a real duck. If you don't pay, I'm gonna peck the shit out of your nose.
I am
I'm
real.
a duck.
I'm sorry, Dudley.
I'm Dudley the
is
duck,
real.
and don't talk shit about me.
I'm not Dudley.
I'll hatch an egg on your head and squeeze it all
Who
over
is
you.
this clown?
That's Dudley speaking over. Did you hear Dudley speaking? Say something, Dudley.
Hi, everybody. I'm
No.
Dudley the duck.
No,
I'm gonna lay an egg on you, and I'll fart on you
Stop
like a
pretending
skunk.
to be me.
I'm Dudley the duck.
Oh, no.
John, what's going on here, man?
I'm not sure, Dudley. I'm sorry. I'm a little confused.
You better
Where
apologize
did you
to
find
me.
this guy?
I'm Dudley the duck.
It's a good thing half of you is in the space pouch. I don't know if you can
Well,
handle the rest.
I studied acting. I went to Goodman Theater. I went to Berkeley School
the
for
Space
Music
Fest.
in Boston. And I took improvisation. I had a wonderful comedian teacher called Jonathan Winters, who was from Ohio.
Okay.
He also taught my roommate, Robin Williams, a thing or two. And he was on the last season of Mork and Mindy. Very talented guy.
Well, tell
and
us-
he had his own show called The Jonathan Winters Show. And I know if you do they rerun that on TV?
No, but I have seen it. I've seen it somewhere. Maybe I've seen it. Archive.org. All you people should type it in and find fun
Well,
stuff
you
to
know
say.
who
Every chance
you
I
know
can
who
sip to
became
archive.org.
who got the woman who played on Bewitched, and she had spoke a different kind of voice like this, and she played Antora, and she played on Bewitched, and all her spells didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
the
trying
ant.
to think. I was also the mother on the Sign woman, Alice Ghostly. A woman that spoke like a ghost that'll haunt the shit out of her by her voice. Alice Ghostly.
Do you like Paul?
Alice Ghostly was on with John Travolta. Can you guess what movie that was? Olivia Newton-John was in it, and Alice Ghostly.
Grease.
was
Dad?
Grease. You're smarty. She was on Grease 1.
The minute you said Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta,
I had a crush on Olivia Newton-John.
I
You-
know someone who loves her so much. His whole house was covered in pictures
I
of her.
love her, but she's so mean.
Oh, no. What did she
Yeah.
do to you, David? Well, tell us about the time.
I went
I want
to.
to hear about Olivia Newton-John. You be quiet.
I was traveling in Australia, and I wanted to meet her because I loved her music. I love her country western songs. I can't do them because I don't want to get in a heap of trouble since she owns them. But I loved Olivia Newton-John. I loved everything about her. I thought she would be the cutest queen for this princess. And when her boyfriend got lost, I prayed for her and everything. And when she was sick with cancer, I prayed for her and prayed that she would get better. I love Olivia Newton-John. She's from Australia, and I wanted her to be when I first traveling with my old band, the David Liebe Hart band with Adam Papagan. He contacted her. And she was just as nudie as English. The English come from settled in, and you know that's where they had the people that were naughty were sent to Australia.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they were from
It
jolly
started
old
as a
England.
Penal colony.
But anyway, well, right. Well, anyway, I wanted to meet her, and she says, "I only want rich people like John Travolta to meet me.
Ugh.
Don't ever call me
Is
again.
that why
Don't ever speak to
Australian
me.
guys seem
Don't
to be so
email.
homophobic?
Don't ever email me."
Oh, geez,
She
David.
hung up in my face. You know, another actress I had a crush on, this Miss Barnes that replaced Susan Summers, and I just told her, you know, I love Miss Barnes. I love you as a nurse on 3 companies. She says, I want you to
Her
play
name was
silent.
Priscilla
Priscilla Barnes.
Barnes. Okay.
We gotta go, friends.
She said she wanted me to play silent by not
Call
speaking
us
to her.
or text
Thanks
us
for
at
coming on, David.
Mean.
I hope you enjoyed the show, David.
Thank you.
77
Thanks for coming.
54.
Call us. Call David.
Adios. Don't call me. Call
We're playing
them.
with him tomorrow.